Well, you are taking a live look at a local polling location, Cashman Middle School, as people cast their ballots with less than 30 minutes left before the polls close. Just a couple people filing out right now. Thanks for staying with your local election headquarters. I'm Christiane Klein.
And I'm Brian Loftus. We have you fully covered on everything you need to know as voting starts to wind down across our state. Our Politics Now team joining us in our 8 News Now studio. Steve Sebelius, Patrick Walker have been tracking all the races.
Yeah, guys, good to see that there are still people out there going out and voting. That's always a good thing, right? Well, probably won't be any surprises in most of the primaries tonight, but a few of the big ones at least could get interesting. So, Steve, I want to ask you, let's talk about the governor's race first. Nevadans aren't the only ones that are paying attention to this one.
No, it's definitely drawn a huge amount of outside money, probably more than we've seen in a governor's race in a long time. This is the first time the governor's race is actually an open seat since Brian Sandoval won in 2010. The incumbent then, Jim Gibbons, was defeated for re-election, and so it was an open seat when Brian Sandoval ran for that seat in 2010. So it hasn't happened for 8 years.
You can see the four front runners there, too, from each party, but the Republican race may not be the tight one tonight. The Democratic one could be. So what is your take on Chris Giuliani and Steve Sisolak?
Yeah, I think Chris Giuliani presented a tougher challenge than Sisolak thought she would, and he has definitely spent more money than he probably would have otherwise liked to spend. Whoever wins this primary is going to come out of this primary broke, needing to replenish their coffers. On the Republican side, that's not the case. Adam Laxalt was comfortably ahead. He didn't have to spend as much money. He did spend a little bit, started to do a bio ad there at the end, but I think it's going to be a tough catch-up for whoever emerges from the Democratic field.
Let's talk Congress now. The CD3 Republican field, it is crowded. Danny Tarkanian, the front runner, he jumps in, of course, after President Trump nudged him to do so, to put it lightly, out of the Senate race. But there are a lot of challengers. It is crowded. What do you see in there? Any surprises?
You know, probably not very many surprises. It's going to be a crowded field. No one's going to really be that far ahead. You're not going to see this one won by 60 or 70% of the vote. It's going to be much closer than that, and with so many candidates and so many, and it's been a pretty high-profile race. I mean, there's a lot of people. They've been out there. They've been getting national publicity for this race, so it's definitely a high-profile race. And that seat, remember, is the seat that can flip either way because the registration is so close, and it was drawn to be always a competitive seat, and it has been held by both Democrats and Republicans.
It's gone back and forth over the last 2 decades at least.
Yep.
Finally, CD4. This one is equally crowded on the Democratic side, but this one's interesting to me because there's a chance that you could have, there are 3 people that have only ever actually held the seat. Ruben Kihuen, the person who's currently in the seat, not seeking re-election. But do you think that there's a chance it will be other than the 2 people who used to hold it facing off?
No, I think it'll be those 2 people. They're going to face each other again. Stephen Horsford, who won the seat in 2012, the year after it was created, is going to be against Crescent Hardy, who defeated him for re-election in 2014. And this seat has only existed for 3 election cycles, and it's never been represented by the same person twice. So we may see an end to that in this election cycle.
Well, we could talk about it all night. We've already been at it on Facebook. You'll be seeing us again on there and on our airwaves throughout the night as voting wraps up and results start coming in. Hey, the polls close in a little under half an hour, Brian.
That's right, guys. Thanks for keeping us updated, and keep it right here on Channel 8. We will have extended coverage after the polls close tonight. As the numbers continue to come in, we'll be on the air with a special broadcast from 9 until 10 p.m. tonight, and that is because we are your local election headquarters, keeping you up to date on all the races tonight, on air and online at LasVegasNow.com.